Okay, my name's Phil.
My name's Samantha Dawson.
My name is Pa.
I'm Andy.
My name is Ivan.
My name is Michael Mzago.
I'm Mal Jones.
Human immunodeficiency virus, otherwise known as HIV, affects over an estimated 100,000 people in the UK. According to the Terence Higgins Trust, almost 8,000 of those are undiagnosed, meaning they do not know they are HIV positive. But who are those at high risk? People who share needles, black African heterosexuals, and men who have sex with men. This is being HIV positive. I'm here today at BodyPositive Dorset to find out more about the stigma surrounding HIV and to find out what it's actually like to live with the virus. So the charity aims to help and support those living with the HIV virus, and BodyPositive Dorset is currently one of the only HIV charities in Bournemouth, and sadly it's struggling with funding at the moment. Now, what a lot of people don't realise is the HIV virus lives and is passed on through bodily fluids. So this means that the only ways you can catch the virus are through unprotected sex, the sharing of needles, and mothers who are breastfeeding can also pass it on to their children if they have the virus. There are a lot of misconceptions around how the virus is passed on, and some people think that you can catch it through sharing the same toilet seat as someone, or even drinking from the same water bottle as someone, or the same glass as someone who has the virus. Now, this is not the case, as the virus doesn't live for very long once it leaves the body, so it can't be passed on through saliva, urine or sweat. So in a minute I'm going to speak to some people who use the service and who are currently living with HIV to find out more about their stories and the struggle they've faced along the way.
I actually tried to commit suicide. I took 150 sleeping tablets. I had a breakdown. I ended up living at the YMCA for a few years, and I got support and help from them.
I was diagnosed HIV back in 2012 in India, because I'd been living in India for about 11 years or something. And I guess it was a bit of a shock at first. Most people, I think, feel very alone. Although I was diagnosed there, I didn't get any treatment there because I thought I'd get better treatment and better care back here in the UK than in India, which was the case.
I got really ill end of the year, but like a flu thing, like really bad. So I was in bed for 2 weeks, and my doctor had a really good GP, that was really good. She worked for an HIV clinic in London before, so that was quite lucky to get her as my GP, and she's sending me for all different tests. And she called me up one morning, I think it was a Wednesday morning or something like that, like silly o'clock in the morning, 7:45. The doctors don't call at 7:45, and asked me if I could come in. And she sat me down, it's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. So I thought, like, so you guess it's not good news then? And she was like, what would not good news be? And I said, oh, either cancer or HIV. And she just looked at me and said, it's like, it was HIV.
So it was a huge, huge shock. I remember sitting in the room, and they went to get my friend that was with me, and while the health advisor went to get my friend, I felt like smashing the whole room up. And I was in massive shock for quite a long time. I think for the first sort of couple of weeks I just hid under my duvet and cried a lot.
I sat very because of my illness.
What's the story there? Don't mind going into it?
I don't know.
Don't want to go into
No.
it? Okay.
The first time was actually with my GP. Yeah, you know, the last sort of person you'd expect to be getting stigma from would be, you know, was your GP, which I was sort of gobsmacked a bit, not expecting it from a doctor.
I broke my ankle a couple of years ago, and I was having physio, and he commented that he had no cuts on his hands. So I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, oh, you know, because of HIV.
They used to say gay and AIDS. Got AIDS yet? GAY, AIDS, arsehole injected death sentence, and that lot stuck up here. So when I was diagnosed, apart from very close family, I kept it, to myself.
With less education, people, it's very hard for them to accept it. The more you don't say it out to the people, that's the more it affects you. If you say it out, it's already over. So people want to actually keep it to themselves.
You know how society views it, you know how society views you yourself, and you're powerless to do anything about it, so you just get bombarded. I actually only speak to 2 members of my family now, and that has been a process of calling them, trying to be a part of that family unit again with my brothers and sisters, and they just completely turned, it's like I don't exist, which is very painful. It seems like the whole world is having a go at you. You end up turning on yourself.
As far as my viral load is concerned, I'm undetectable, which means there's hardly any of the virus in my body.
It's not a death sentence, but it's definitely not like a happy walk in the park.
I'm just as good as anybody else.
Centres like this are the foundation of being support for people with HIV. It's because at a time like that, when all the chips are down, your family and your friends turn their back on you, you've got a community here where people don't judge you, they welcome you, they support you, and you make good friends, and they end up loving you, and you end up sharing your life with like a good group of people that you've got here, which is what you really need at the end of the day.